Victor Cruz thinks it's time for the New York Giants to move on from Daniel Jones and do a full rebuild. We're going to break down those quotes on today's video. But first, I want to hear from you. Is it time for the Giants to go get a new quarterback and move on from Daniel Jones? What do you say? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules to rock and roll with us for a couple of minutes as we get you caught up on everything surrounding the New York Giants. And whenever a New York Giant legend, especially one like Victor Cruz, as I'm salsing here on the show, went on the Carton Show today on FS1, and he said he thinks it's time for the Giants to move on at quarterback. So we'll break down those quotes, and then I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think it may or may not be time for the Giants to move on from number 8. Let's go to Cruz, though, as he said, quote, I think the Giants have to make a decision, whether they want to be in a complete rebuild and then go get a quarterback and rebuild the entire thing, or you still want to go out and be competitive and make a trade or make a splash or do whatever it is you want to do. But I think they have to make that decision that, in my opinion, we got to get a new quarterback. I think we got to go and do the entire rebuild, refranchise. It's just something isn't sitting right with this team. I think Daboll stays. I don't think Daboll is the problem. I think those guys rally around him. They love him. I think it is just the makeup of the roster of this football team, at least offensively. Offensively, we need to make some major changes and to get some guys in there that Daboll likes, that they draft, that they bring in, that they can coach. Look, Victor Cruz is making it abundantly clear. He thinks it is time for the Giants to move on from Daniel Jones, the guy that they just signed to a 4-year, $160 million deal. And my response to that would be, I'm right on board with you, Victor Cruz. And this isn't so much to do with Daniel Jones's play. Look, he didn't play good this year. No one has to go on a limb to say that. But he did play good last year. But the thing is, there's so many other circumstances. And the Giants have to think about the future of this football team. With the position they're in right now, they hopefully may never be in another position like this to get a top quarterback in the NFL draft. 5 reasons why I think it is time to move on from Daniel Jones. Number 1, another serious neck injury. Remember, he hurt his neck in the season of 2021. He missed the remaining 5 games of that season. He ended up having neck surgery. Then less than 24 months later, he has another neck injury that causes him to miss 3 games. Daniel Jones, with a neck injury, has missed 8 games in the last 3 seasons. I don't care if you're a quarterback. I don't care if you're a running back. I don't care if you're an offensive lineman. Shoot, I don't care if you're the strength and conditioning coach. If you have to miss 8 games in 3 seasons due to a neck injury, it is not a good thing. It's a problem. This isn't a contact sport. This is a collision sport. And if you have a bad neck, which pretty much stabilizes your entire body, how can you rely on that guy? The Giants have to make the right decision for the New York Giants, no matter how much they love Daniel Jones. Also, the Giants will probably be picking top 5 in the 2024 NFL draft. As we know, when you pick at the top of the NFL draft, it means your team's not good. And if your team's not good, 9 times out of 10, it means your quarterback is not all that good. A lot of circumstances for the Giants to be in this position. But hopefully, you are never back in this spot. Hopefully, you're never picking again in the top 5. Hopefully, you make the right pick here and you don't. Let's say, though, that you roll with Daniel Jones and you say he's going to be our starter going forward. And then you end up picking in the top 5 again. If you roll with Daniel Jones and you pick in the top 5, again, like you pick in the top 5 this year, let's say you take Marvin Harrison Jr. Then next year the Giants are bad again and you have to make another pick in the top 5. Brian Daboll, you will be fired. Joe Schoen, you will be fired. You don't get to pick in the top 5 multiple times as the head coach and general manager. And you definitely, as the general manager, don't get to sign a quarterback to $140 million. I understand it's 82 guaranteed, 92 fully guaranteed. And then get to draft a quarterback in the top 5 and then end up picking top 5 again. Also, this is an absolute generational class that is potentially coming into the National Football League. Say what you want about Caleb Williams, the finger paint, the crying in mommy's arms, wanting to go home and sit on the couch and snuggle and watch Netflix with his dogs. Say what you want. He's the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Drake May would have been the first overall pick the last couple of drafts. He's that good. J.J. McCarthy's pretty good. Shedeur Sanders is really good. Michael Penix Jr. is pretty good. If you end up picking in the top 5, you absolutely have to take a quarterback. Think about it like this. A way that Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll can extend their length and cool their hot seat is by drafting a quarterback and convincing John Mara, let me get my guy, let me work with him, give me 2 to 3 years. They're going to pick a quarterback if they're picking in top 5. Also this, Daniel Jones isn't just dealing with a neck injury that supposedly he wasn't 100% healthy from when he got hurt last week against the Raiders. DJ is not likely to be ready for week 1 in the 2024 NFL season because he tore his ACL in the beginning of November. We expect him to be ready to go in the middle of September. We think he's just going to be ready to go. Well, he's not going to be ready to go in training camp. He's not going to be ready to go in minicamp. He's not going to be ready to go in the preseason. So we're just going to try to QB out there with no reps in the offseason to be ready to go week 1? I don't think that's possible. Look at some other quarterback ACL recovery timelines. Kyler Murray tore his ACL in week 14 of last season. He hasn't played yet, and he's going to play for the first time in week 10. That's 4 weeks from a full year. Daniel Jones got hurt in week 9. If he's on the same pace as Kyler Murray, the soonest he would come back is week 5. Joe Burrow tore his ACL in week 11 of 2020. He was able to come back in week 1 of 2021. I think it's a little bit different of a circumstance because Joe Burrow is a pocket passer. Daniel Jones is a mobile quarterback, and he leans on the run. Jimmy Garoppolo pretty much took a whole year to come back from his ACL, from week 3 in 2018 to week 1 in 2019. Deshaun Watson, he took less than a year. He was ready to go from week 9 to week 1. So maybe that's a timeline that Daniel Jones can go off. And you see Carson Wentz, he was able to get hurt in week 4 of the prior season, then come back in week 3. So it's not impossible for him to come back. I just don't think it's going to happen. And if he does, I don't know. I don't know about that one. We're going to find out, though, aren't we? That's the best thing about this game of football. They always tell us what's going to happen. Make sure you guys are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks is going to hook you guys up with a $100 match of your first deposit. This is one of the lineups that I'm going to be rolling with for Sunday's game. I'm going to go with more passing yards for Mac Jones. I'm going to go with less passing yards for Kenny Pickett, and I'm going to go with more passing yards for Deshaun Watson. NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, you name it, Prize Picks has it, and you can play daily fantasy sports with them regarding that sport. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. That link will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. Point number 4, there's an opt-out in the contract of Daniel Jones after the 2024 season. I'm not saying the Giants are going to cut Daniel Jones after this year. I'm actually guaranteeing that they do not do that. What I am saying, though, is the Giants can get out of Daniel's contract after the 2024 season. I think he's on the roster next year. I just think he's going to be playing a backup quarterback position to the guy that they are going to draft this year inside the top 5. So you look at this contract, and there you see it's a potential out after the 2024 season, which means the 2025 spring. That's why you see it like that. It pretty much becomes a 2-year, $82 million deal, and you would carry a $22 million dead cap hit for 2025. Considering that if he's on the roster for 2025, he would have a $41.6 million cap hit. $22.2 million doesn't sound all that bad. I don't think Daniel Jones is on this team after next season. Anything can happen, but I think when you're looking at it from a logistical standpoint, you're being, I guess, somewhat realistic. There's no way he's at least on that contract after that. Maybe they cut him and they rework a deal or something like that. I just don't know how you don't take a quarterback if you pick in the top 5, and I believe the Giants will. The last and most important one of them all. Why do we play this game? We play this game to win championships. We're going for trophy number 5. I want everyone to ask themselves this question. I'll ask it to you right now. Can the New York Giants win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones as your quarterback? If your answer is yes, sure, you bring him back. If your answer is no, you draft a quarterback this year. And honestly, I don't think you can. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. Maybe if you had him on a rookie scale contract and he was only taking up 4% of the salary cap, for sure. But when you have a guy that's taken up $47 million cap hit in 2024, $41 million cap hit in 2025, and a $58 million cap hit in 2026, I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with him. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks in this league you can win a Super Bowl with. So I'm not saying that to be mean to Daniel. But I will say this. Sometimes organizations, sometimes companies, sometimes families, sometimes the frickin' White House. You got to make some tough decisions. The Giants may have to do one. It may be time to move on from Daniel Jones. It stinks. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we're at this point 10 weeks into the season after we were all dancing and crying tears of joy after you beat the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs last year. It's unbelievable. It stinks. I'm heartbroken. I know you are heartbroken. But another serious neck injury. You're going to be picking top 5. He's most likely not going to be ready for week 1. He's going to work his butt off because that's the type of guy he is. And he got an opt-out after the 2024 season. And the big elephant in the room. Can you win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones? I don't think so. I do know this. If the Giants do anything with Daniel Jones, or the Giants make a move, or the Giants sign someone, or news and rumors come out, we're going to put out videos on this channel for free. It's free to subscribe, so subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe in a week. But I think you just might, because nobody does it better than we do. As always, just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.